There's a lot you've missed in the new Campaign Evolved trailers and demos. I went through everything frame by frame, picking out the most interesting details I could find. And the first thing that stood out to me was the iconic Halo Combat Evolved menu. And when I tell you, it looks great. Straight away, this made me wonder just how faithful Halo Studios are really going to be with this remake. We're also seeing the return of classic power-ups. I spotted the original active camo in the gameplay demo, and I was pleasantly surprised to see power-ups return in their original form after so many years of us getting equipment-based power-ups. And of course, after 25 years, even the beloved Covenant Com Crate is making its return. It may sound small, but for me, growing up playing Combat Evolved, I always loved the Com Crate. It's one of those small details that really help define Halo CE's style. Just the look of it, the sounds, everything about it screams Covenant, and more importantly, screams Halo. And once I started noticing these little details, I couldn't help but look deeper. Another thing that caught my attention was the environmental storytelling. The battle damage Pillar of Autumn is a really nice touch because it shows just how close the ship and her crew came to destruction during the escape from Reach. But what caught my eye even more was the flood biomass. In the original game, the flood wasn't really integrated into the environment, probably due to hardware limitations back in 2001, if I had to guess. Now, the flood is more than just an enemy, it's part of the world. Little details like this make Campaign Evolved feel like much more than just a graphics upgrade, which then got me thinking about the art style as a whole. And I can tell you now that the art style was one of those things that just spoke to me. We already knew the flood were returning, but I couldn't help but notice that they've taken on a similar look to their signature Halo 3 design. That then got me looking at everything else. The Banshee is a mix of Halo 3 and Reach. The battle rifle adopts its infinite design. The Wraith has more of a classic Bungie look to it, and even the enemies themselves resemble their infinite counterparts. So what does all this mean? Personally, I think Halo Studios are taking elements from every Halo game and combining them all to make a universal art style, and not just for Campaign Evolved, but potentially for future remakes as well. Even obscure little details like the return of the original brown rocket launcher point back to the same thing. Halo Studios are clearly trying to honour the identity of Halo while creating something that feels consistent across the series. Gameplay changes tell a similar story. The return of hijacking, lock-on rockets, slower sprint, and the increase from 32 to 36 rounds in the AR all modernised Combat Evolved without changing its identity all too much. But there was one thing that caught my attention even more. I think a lot of us noticed the new Covenant faction, but what people might not have noticed is that these guys actually have a name and some lore. They're known as the Sacristans. In real life, Sacristans are closely associated with Christianity and the running of religious ceremonies. They're also responsible for handling the Eucharist, which commemorates the sacrificial death of the Lord Jesus Christ. So I really like the implications behind the name. It suggests Halo is finally bringing the religious side of the Covenant back into focus. We also have the new prophet known as the Minister of Harmony, the strange elites in the test tubes, and even those two elites from the new mission trailer which appear to be dueling. If they're sparring, it will be another really nice touch because Sankheili culture revolves around honour and combat. Putting all this together, I can't help but wonder if this new faction is experimenting with creating Covenant super soldiers. Halo has explored similar ideas before with the prelates, so perhaps the Minister of Harmony is attempting something similar with elites instead of Sanshaum, and that's when I noticed something hidden right at the end of the mission trailer. My favourite discovery from this whole expedition came from a single frame, and I think basically everyone missed this. At first I thought I was just seeing things, but we actually have two different Warthog variants in this shot. The new Campaign Evolved Warthog is front and centre, while the Halo Infinite design can be seen in the background. This raises a very interesting question. Are these simply placeholders, or are we going to see multiple vehicle variants and skins in the same way Campaign Evolved now features armour and weapon customization? But what really excited me, and this is something I almost missed I might add, was the Elite Ultra hiding in the corner. If you don't already know, Elite Ultras were completely absent from the original Halo CE, so alongside brutes, flood tanks, and the new Covenant faction, the return of the Ultra answers questions that are almost as old as the Halo franchise itself.